Welcome back to Coloring Through the Bible. My name is Keegan Harkins, and today I want to spend some time with you talking about rest. In my journey through the book of Leviticus, I've come to chapter 23, and this chapter starts off by talking about the Sabbath and rest. And there couldn't be a better time for this to have come up, because this week has been very, very far from restful. My youngest son and I switched rooms. Well, we switched his bedroom and my office. Our house is stucco, which if you don't know, it's basically cement, and it's very old. It's about 100 years old. So instead of having drywall, we don't have any drywall or normal walls. We have lath and plaster, which is basically cement. So we live in this cement house with cement walls, which is great for insulation, but horrible for Wi-Fi. So I couldn't get Wi-Fi in my office. It kept dropping me and it was a pain in the butt. So we swapped rooms so that I could be closer to the modem and I could have windows and it would just work out better. So in the last 3 days, I emptied out my office, moved my son's entire bedroom downstairs, repainted his old room, and then moved all my stuff up here. And you don't realize how many books you have until you have to carry them up 2 flights of stairs. Then you start to realize that this is a lot of very heavy books. But it got me thinking. It got me thinking about being spiritually tired. Not just physically tired, but what about being spiritually tired? Because we can give of ourselves to the point of being tired. Now, God never runs out. He's going to give us the strength to do what He calls us to do. But we can still get tired. We can get tired of loving somebody who is just continually combative or persecuting us. We get tired of sowing seeds and never seeing any fruit develop. We can get tired of working and giving of ourselves even when we're doing good things. And that is why God tells us to rest. And I love that Leviticus 23 talks about the Sabbath, and then it goes right into talking about the Passover. It's kind of carries through this idea of Sabbath because it says in verse 7, and then it repeats the exact same words in verse 8, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Now, Hebrews 10:25 reminds us that we should be not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the matter of some is, but exhorting one another. See, we need to rest our physical bodies, but we need to rest our spirits as well, as both of these verses are talking about coming together and having an assembly, meeting together, worshiping God together, learning from each other, encouraging one another, and not doing any regular work, taking time out to rest in God's presence. Because just like our physical bodies get tired and sore and used up when we're doing physical activities like painting a room or hauling a bunch of books, our spirit needs to be revived. Our spirit gets tired. And when we gather together, when we meet in an assembly and we do no regular work, we spend time learning, worshiping together, drawing our strength from God. We renew that strength because God is the source of our strength. He's the source of our power. So I want to encourage you to spend some time resting in God's presence, renew and rejuvenate. My husband has this remote control helicopter, and it's so much fun. He and my boys absolutely love getting this thing to do all kinds of tricks and chasing our cat around. And they just have a lot of fun with it, but it only runs for about 15 minutes. And then you have to plug it into the remote control, and then that charges the battery in the helicopter. And it's the same thing with us. We can be flying exactly the way we're supposed to go. We can be doing exactly what we need to do. We can be working and functioning exactly perfectly. But we will run out of juice if we don't plug ourselves in. We need to plug ourselves into God and allow Him to recharge our batteries. We need to rest, both physically and spiritually, because we don't want to be so physically tired that we're all used up. We don't want to be so spiritually tired that we're all dry. We need to constantly be renewed in our spirit by spending time worshiping and learning and drawing on God. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you have been encouraged a little bit by my weird stories today. Thanks for spending some time with me, and spend some time with God today. Just make a point to plug in and let Him recharge your batteries. Have a truly blessed day, and I will see you next time.